Let's go. How's everybody doing? I am excited for this one right here. We will be going into the profit ceiling that many traders place on themselves. We'll be talking about what a profit ceiling is, where they come from, how can you change it, and how it distorts and changes the way and actually limits our trading results so that we can't get to where we really are, like where our perceived limits of ourselves is here, and we will be able to go higher. So again, thank you to each and every one of you guys who made this investment within yourself, taking the time out, and I highly suggest that you not just take this first step, but continuously taking steps. And we will talk about it in here. It's not just one small shift, it is small continuous shifts over time of your belief systems that in order you to grow into the person that you will get to. Now let's get into this. Module 1, the hidden profit ceiling. Why you keep capping your own success within your trading. Okay, so why? Most profitable traders never realize that they have an invisible ceiling on how much money that they can make, right? We subconsciously cap our profits, and we put a limit to how much we believe that we can make within our trading. We come in expecting to make maybe XYZ, right? So once we get there, we create systems, and we trust our systems up until we reach this perceived ceiling of ourselves, right? Our potential that we feel. You know, the bigger wins, it trigger fear instead of excitement. You feel me? Once we get these bigger wins, sometimes it triggers this fear within inside of us that, hey, with bigger wins loom bigger losses, which we don't look at. We will get more into that later, but let's just leave it at that right here. What is a profit ceiling, right? We kind of went into that, but it is your subconscious limit on how much money feels comfortable to you to make, right? Anything above this triggers anxiety, second guessing, or self-sabotage. It silently stops you from scaling to the next level. You know, this profit ceiling where we feel ourselves comfortable with making X amount of dollars, but once we start managing money above that ceiling, right? Like I said, if we start self-sabotaging, create some type of anxiety, our emotions, our nervous system hasn't caught up to the amount of money that we are dealing with, or the amount of money volatility that fluctuates, right? If we get into it, money is this object that is not really real, it's not really backed by anything, it's just a concept, right? If we can detach ourselves from looking at it, and every single tick in each direction doesn't move us emotionally, that can actually stop our emotional mind from taking over when we are in a trade, and it starts to either go against our position or with our position, and keeps us grounded and at this emotional balancing state. So listen, what are some signs that you have a profit ceiling, right? Either you're cutting winners too early when you're starting to see gains, you hesitating or reducing size when trades go your way, you take random trades after hitting a good day, and feeling nervous seeing big unrealized profits, right? So this feeling that, hey, let's say, to start with the first one, you are cutting winners too early because of, let's say, you have not accepted the risk. So once you see a little bit of green, you take it, because you may be thinking about a losing trade, or not accepting how much you could have potentially lost. So once you see some type of green, you cut it early, because this fear that you will lose it, right? You are hesitating or reducing your size when trades go your way. The trade is telling you that you're right, and you're scared that it will go against you, so you don't put more money into an already winning trade. But so many traders will put more money into an already losing trade. Think about that dichotomy. That dichotomy is crazy. A lot of people will average down on losers, but average out of winners. I'm just saying, these are little small beliefs that we have. Saying, you know, oh, if it's winning, maybe if it's in a losing position, maybe I can average down, so that in hopes that when it goes back up, I'll make more. Instead of saying, hey, I'm already in a winning position, let me put more money into a winning position so that maybe I can make more. Feeling nervous when big unrealized profits present themselves within your trading, because the fear, that's goes back into cutting winners early. When you start to see these big winners, your nervous system hasn't adapted to these big winners yet, right? So you start to feel nervous that the market will take it away, that you are not in the right position in order to preserve these profits, right? Okay, so why it exists? Why does these perceived limitation within ourselves persist? Why would you even want this, right? It forms from our childhood, money beliefs, and environment. Lack of exposure to holding big profits calmly. Subconscious fear of what it feels like to lose too much. And examples, go back to childhood. If $500 felt big growing up, if in your childhood, if your family received $500, that would do a lot for you guys. That would put so much more food on the table than $1,000 plus in one given trade. Might feel a little bit, right here I said unsafe, but might feel a little, it might spark some type of, okay, $1,000 is a lot of money, because $500, from when I'm growing up, I've been told that $500 is a lot of money. Right? I've been told that $500 a week is a lot of money. So if I'm making $500 plus on one trade, I automatically start to feel this sort of guilt within myself that I am dealing with too much money, and maybe I am not that person yet, right? Start feeling this identity fraud, fraudulent identity, feeling like, hey, well, the way I grew up, and we'll get into how our past from our childhood looms and creates different type of lenses that we project and see trading to, because trading is just lines and graphs. We place our emotions, ideologies onto the market. The market does not know who we are nor what we want. Real life analogy, your trading account is like a thermostat, right? No matter how hot it gets, it will always cool back down to your comfort level unless you reset your thermostat, right? If you are comfortable making $5,000 a week within trading, and let's say 1 week you make $8,000, so you're feeling hot. But if you do not change your thermostat level, and you start to feel uncomfortable over that 5,000, you will self-sabotage next time you get there, and cause you to maybe lose more and maybe go back down to 3,000, right? And kind of balance you back out at that 5,000 a week mark. But if you can continuously change and reset and reprogram what's in the inside, and continuously look at it from an endpoint point of view instead of an output, we will continue to grow within our trading. And a lot of it is, look, this is the action step for module 1. We're finished with module 1. Before I get into the action step, a lot of what I would say, you might say, is a bit of redundancy, because it is. A lot of it is continuous actions over and over and over and over and over again, getting it and just doing it on repeat. So what's step 1? Exercise. Identify your ceiling. Write down your daily or weekly profit target, right? Note the exact dollar amount where you start feeling nervous about holding a trade, and reflect on it. Why does that number make you feel uncomfortable? And some of these questions they're simple questions, but they will take time for you to really understand yourself and go and take deep. And that's what this whole thing is about. Getting deep within our beliefs, getting deep within why we feel the way we do about the things that we feel the way we do about. So hey, module 2, this will be about reframing your money story. The first one was about understanding it, what it is, where it comes from. This is about reframing it. The goal of this is to replace old limiting money narratives with empowering beliefs that support confident trading decisions. We are taking out this old programming that I know taking out this old programming and putting a new one in there, right? You are not your old self, nor do we need to operate under the old beliefs that your old self operated under, because you will get the same results as that old person. Reframing your money story. How your past shapes your money, your trading mindset. Your past shapes it because a lot of times we act on the present based on information that we receive within our past. This is just basic human psychology and just how we go about our days. We interpret, we say, hey, and even in our trading now, sometimes a lot of our systems are based on things that happened in the past, the market, or recent times as in this one. So of course, our money story is the same thing. How we react to different money situations is the same thing. We take our past income availability and we dictate that and use that to frame in how we believe that our future income will be. If I grew up making X amount of dollars, then let's say if I say, okay, people say I want a raise, yeah, I want a 10% raise, feeling like only a little bit of gradual raises throughout the year is what we are only capable of, right? And most traders operate with inherited money beliefs. What I mean by most traders operate with inherited money beliefs, unless you switch the whole paradigm, if you are still within your sphere of influence that you were when you were a child, and the same people have the same influence on you, you haven't separated yourself, either moved or you haven't made new friends, you've talked to the same group of people, your money story will be still shaped and connected to the type of people that you're around on a day-to-day basis. So that's why they're inherited. Everything is inherited. Everything that we know is learned. Every belief that we know is learned. So in order to change our beliefs, we first need to figure out where these beliefs have come from, right? And how we rewrite our story for growth. You know, we have to figure out, okay, this is what I believe now. Let me rewrite, what does growth look like? And then write down what growth looks like, and then write down what it would take to get to there, right? Let's go. Your money story in trading. Like I say, every trader has a subconscious money setting. We've talked about this. You know, our upbringing comes from our upbringing, our culture, our past wins, losses. They shape how much you feel and how much risk you can put on, right? You know, our past trades, even though we're not supposed to hold on to our past trades, many of us do. Many of us remember the feelings that either huge losses or huge wins came to us. We start to remember different certain patterns that came within the market. Okay, I remember this V pattern, or I remember this come by this retracement around this area, this fib. So I am basing off something in the past instead of using it as in a very unique moment, how we are supposed to look at it, right? Like I said, if you grew up hearing money doesn't grow on trees, you know, you might trade scared, feeling like, oh, money doesn't grow on trees. But a lot of times you can see that, hey, money can grow on your screen. And money can diminish on your screen. Money might not grow on trees, but you can see it grow on your screen. And that is where that belief changes. Like, okay, well, money can't grow on trees, so it must be hard to come across money, right? You know, but now in trading, you have been met with another belief that, hey, well, I can make money by clicking my button. That's pretty easy, you know. So that might be a little bit physically easier. That is physically easier than picking money off of a tree. Clicking a button is physically easier than picking money off of a tree, but emotionally and keeping that emotional stability over a long amount of time and sustaining that is very hard. Picking it off a tree doesn't take any type of decision making. You're just doing this, but learning when and why to get into a trade does. All right. If you experience big losses, you may unconsciously avoid taking the big risk, right? Even if your setup presents itself, and the last time your setup presents itself, you took a huge loss, you might lose confidence within that setup, because last time that same setup presented itself, it was a loss, and you didn't accept probabilities. You wanted it to be certainties. So now when that next setup, and it is a big winner, comes, you hesitate, or you don't even get into a trade, and you lose that opportunity. Common limiting beliefs in trading. I am not the kind of person who makes that much money. If I was to say, hey, you can make $1 million a week trading, how do you feel about that? Some people make $1 million a week trading. Some companies make $1 million a week trading. Some floor traders can make $1 million a week trading. If there are people who can do it, that means that their belief system is different than yours. Yes, maybe they have better resources, but that doesn't mean you can't believe you can do it. Because humans, if somebody can do it, you can do it. Think about it like that. With the resources that they have, you can do it as well too. Belief systems have nothing to do with your right now resource availability, and that is where people get it mixed up. A belief system is just having belief and trust within yourself that you are capable of doing it if that situation presents itself in the market. So yes, I believe that I can make $1 million a week trading, because trading doesn't change with different money size. It's the same thing. I'm clicking it. I'm watching my systems. So if you can't get up here that I believe I am the type of person who is able to make $1 million a week trading. It's not saying that, hey, next week I will make $1 million a week trading. It's not saying that. It is having the understanding and self-confidence within yourself that if that time was to come where you was handling that amount of money, could you execute? And that answer should be yes to every single trader who is watching this, because you have the capability of doing it. If I make more, I'll lose more. You know, while that is true, thinking that already puts you in a negative frame of mind, right? Because yes, if you make more, then you do have the possibility to lose more because you have more time at risk. But if you make more, you obviously make more, right? So don't look at it as in a negative sense. Say, well, if I don't risk anything, I won't make anything. There's a positive aspect to that too, yes, but you have to keep yourself grounded within it. But what I'm saying right now, I can do another video on how to limit the downside, but right now is how to maximize your upside. This is what this video is, maximizing your upside. There will be other videos on limiting your downside, but right now is maximizing and taking the roof off of your expectations of your trading. Like I said, big wins are just luck. I shouldn't expect them. Feeling like, well, people say, oh, base hits, best. Yes, base hits are great. But we love home runs too. There's a such thing called the home run derby. There's people who have the record for home runs. Steph Curry say, oh, well, free throws and layups in basketball. Steph Curry shooting deep. Sometimes it pays to aim high. And for the right person, it is very lucrative to aim high. Don't forget that. It is lucrative to aim high. With the right, safety parameters within it, aim high. For the big earners, if you are watching this, you have the potential to be a huge earner. Taking these beliefs and running with them and going and continuously adding to them time and time and time again, right? So I have to work harder to earn more and not smarter. Like I said, there's nothing. Think about it in percentage changes. 10% is 10%. If I give 10% effort, that is 10% effort. So on a $1 million account, a 10% gain is different than is the exact same thing as a 10% gain on a $100 account. Yes, the volume or the amount, the quantity is different, but it is the exact same proportion, meaning that it doesn't take more effort or harder effort to get the same result on a different scale. But it does take smarter regulations and smarter systems in order to handle that on a larger scale. The impact on trading. It leads the impact that it has on our trading, that it leads us, like I said, cutting winners early causes fear when increasing size. It keeps you stuck at a certain profit level. It creates self-sabotage when you start winning. All these things, we've been over this. Reframing this process. One, you have to identify the old belief, whatever it is, whatever belief you have within yourself. I'm pretty sure when I've been talking, you've came up with the belief. Two, is to question the truth of the evidence in your own life. Question it. Is it true? Whatever belief you have, is that true? Question it and put it to the test, right? Replace it with an empowering belief, a specific belief. And you reinforce it daily through repetition and proof, right? Examples. Old belief: if I trade bigger, I lose bigger. Switching it to: if I trade bigger with the same discipline, I will win better. Another one: I can't handle 5-figure profits. The new one: I have the skills and the systems to manage larger profits calmly. Right? You see how it's taking and it's reframing how we are looking at it, and reframing that if I can do it on this scale, I automatically can do it on that scale. Right? Module 2, action step: write down 3 limiting money beliefs you noticed in your trading. For each one, write a reframe that feels impowerful but believing. Read these reframes aloud daily, every morning before you're trading. I suggest it 1 or 2 times today. Just like Think and Grow Rich, they say before you start your day and right before you end your day. So that's what I would suggest. Module 3, I kind of need to go a little bit faster here. I noticed I've been talking a lot through at the beginning, so like I said, first time doing this. But Module 3, and I'm hoping you guys are getting some value out of this. Module 3, building empowering belief systems through evidence. How do we build them, right? In this module, our goal is to replace fear-based trading through thoughts and beliefs grounded in real proof from your own results and experiences. So this would be replacing them by actually looking at our past results and things that we have already done, showing us the things that we are already capable of doing because we have done them, and using that to empower us and switch our beliefs and go forward. So building empowering beliefs through evidence. Why just believing isn't enough? Sometimes just believing, say it isn't enough, because sometimes you need to just see that evidence. You need to see that hard proof. Why should I believe this? Why should I believe that I'm able to do this, right? It's a little bit harder, right? To believe it, and you don't have physical evidence or even substantial evidence that can say, yes, what you are looking at is right. We need proof. It anchors new beliefs within reality. Sometimes our beliefs sometimes our beliefs are like balloons within the air, and they fly whatever the wind stakes us. But if we are staked within reality, it's like tying that balloon down to the earth, that it can still roam free, but it stays in one place, right? And using proof to trade with confidence. Once you know that you can do it, and you've seen in your past that you have done it multiple times, you can move forward with confidence, knowing that, hey, I know I can do this. It is just up to me to show up every single day and be my best self. Why it matters, like I said, with confidence, it grows every single time. Having your confidence grow and confidence grow. That's where most of it is, confidence, and that self confidence, with having that self-confidence within yourself, knowing that if I continue to do the things, the systems that I prepared for myself, over time, over the long run, it will go with me. With evidence, the mind defaults to doubt. Without evidence, without any evidence that something is true, sometimes you'll go to doubt it, because it's like, well, there's nothing saying it's true, so let me think about things why it wouldn't be true, right? You automatically go to doubt. You automatically, stop having either faith within your system and like, well, maybe there is something wrong with this, right? Your brain needs receipts to believe in your growth. Your brain needs to see where, hey, I've did this before and it worked. It was beneficial to me. Now let me do it again, because your brain will forget stuff that it doesn't need and also reinforce stuff that it feels is very valuable to you. Finding your proof is by reviewing your trading journal for consistency. That is meaning you have to keep a consistent log of things that you are doing, but also a consistent emotional log of how you were feeling during those times as well too. Identifying moments where discipline paid off, even if it means taking a small loss. That still means that the discipline that you possessed was beneficial, that you did not lose your account. Those are good. That's paying off. Noting when you followed your plan, when it worked, and highlighting times that you managed risk successfully. This is your proof. Your proof is in the pudding. Your proof is in your trading. Your proof is in your journal. Your proof is in your past trades. Your proof is in your past profits. Your proof is in your past payouts. That is your proof. You have already printed the receipts that you are eligible to do this. Now it is up to you to put the right systems in order to grow this. The evidence stacking process, identifying small wins or good habits you have already achieved, right? Recording them in a dedicated proof log, putting them in either a writing them down, a cookie jar, sometimes I like to say, but just keeping them, showing your receipts. If you keep seeing receipts of the person you are wanting to be, you have proof. And this is showing you repeatedly who you are and the type of person you are becoming because you have receipts of what you have did, right? Review this log daily. Like I said, before trading, just look at it, whether it be your log of yesterday. Not saying every single log of everything you did, but just saying, okay, what happened yesterday? What can I learn from yesterday? Just stacking that. And don't think about stacking it months at a time. Just think about just today. What can I stack today from yesterday? Even if I didn't trade, what did I learn yesterday? This is what true journaling and true repetition comes into it. It's just the little things you do every day. What did I do yesterday? How can I get better today? And expand that size and the scope of your actions over time, day by day. Example, scaling up with evidence. My old belief, I can't handle $1,000 per risk per trade. My evidence is I've consistently handled $200 risk. So my new belief is, if I use the same rules, I can handle 300, then 400. And these are small numbers. I'm just using this just to paint this picture. This can be put to, I can't handle 1 million, right? But I've consistently handled 20,000. So I can do 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 and continue to stack that up there. What I'm saying is, with systems, the scale doesn't matter. With correct systems that match your scale, the scaling doesn't affect, and it shouldn't, because it only matters about your systems and your beliefs, but it comes with gradual changing of your beliefs. Module 3. Action steps. And yes, these might be a little, so if you want to pause this, right, would you come back to this and finish this out, it's fine. This is good. I'm just going through this. Again, appreciate you guys. And if you're here, if you want somebody to talk these things out with, I will make sure that I offer like sessions. If you want to talk to me, we can literally go through and put these things down on paper. We can go and have a personal me conversation, and we can get these things, like I said, going down. So let's go into module 3, action step. Maybe I need a water. I've been talking for a while. Maybe I need a water. But listen, let us start a proof log today in our action 3 module step. How do we start one? At least 3 examples from your trading history where you acted with discipline or skill. Write this down. Read this log every morning for the next 7 days. Read it aloud every morning, and within that 7 days, I'm pretty sure you will see a lot of growth. Module 4, emotional conditioning for your trading confidence. Your goal in this one, we will be seeing how to train your emotional state. Remain calm, clear, and decisive regardless of your trading outcome. This one's hard. It's easier said than done. But when done at the right time, this is what I'm meaning. Emotional conditioning. As you start to scale up your emotional, your nervous system has not yet understood and adapted to this new level of money that you are dealing with. Just like going to the gym, you just can't go from 1,000 pounds, or you just can't go from 100 pounds to 1,000 pounds, right? You have to work your way up. Emotional conditioning for trading confidence. Why emotions drive most trading mistakes. Our emotions drive our trading mistakes because a lot of times, if our body is seeing and is interpreting what we are doing as fearful, our emotions take over, and it will start to make irrational decisions. Our fight or flight mechanisms take over, and our limbic system starts to become activated. right? This is, like I said, our amygdala when it takes over, and it starts to take over our prefrontal cortex, and we will not be thinking rationally anymore, and we will start to make emotional decisions that our body feels is necessary. Emotional conditioning for trading confidence, right? Why? Training your nervous system to stay ready. We have to train our nervous system to stay ready when unexpected things happen in the market, right? We will link calmness to consistent execution, right? And we will talk about how we can do this. Understanding our triggers. Identify situations that make you break your rules. This is where your journaling will come into, where you will look at past triggers that have happened, and you will see, okay, what market, what was presenting itself in the market at this time, like what was going on, right? Recognize early warning signs. Like I said, we have biological triggers that happen within ourselves when we know that our body is taking over our emotional mind. Like it says, tight chest, rapid breathing, overthinking, right? Our heart rate increases. That is how you know that epinephrine is starting to pump throughout your body, and that your limbic system is taking over. You will start to think irrationally and emotionally. Separate market volatility from your own reactivity. Sometimes, once we feel reactive within ourselves and we feel our jittery, we will take that, oh well, the market's volatile, but we are putting our energy in our head and we are placing that onto our screens. Conditioning techniques, things that you can do when you start to feel these biological triggers within yourself start to get exposed. Breathing. Deep breaths. Train your body to remain calm, and it releases toxins within your body that start the saying, okay, calm down. Just take deep breaths in and deep breaths out, so that we can remain calm within what we are doing. Visualizing success of an execution, not just a winning outcome. Sit here and say, okay, if it goes wrong, a successful execution of a losing trade is getting out at my stop loss. Successful execution. Doesn't have to be winning trade. Changing that. Anchoring rituals that signal focus mode, whether it be a song that gets you, whether it be in a certain environment, whether it be, taking a cold shower, whether it be praying. There are so many different rituals that you can do to induce and train your mind to enter this calm state, right? Linking calmness to wins. Note moments where you were staying calm, right? And that led you to better decisions. And when I say linking calmness to wins, not saying, well, every win is calm, which it should be, but saying a win is a trade where you remain calm. Even if it was a losing trade, that is a win. Yes, you can put the numbers that did I make or lose money, but put over there, say, okay, this was a winning trade. That makes any sense. Let's start viewing winning trades as trades that not just where you made money because a trade you make money or lose money, but a winning trade to me is a trade where you followed your setup, followed your rules, and you followed a good execution. Put out their win. That is how you need to start journaling them, not just by win or lose by money, because you will start to look at it from an outcome basis. Did I win in my emotional battle? Did I win in this trade? Did I win my emotional battle within this trade? And the more losses you see, you will start to dictate, okay, where am I seeing that my emotions are coming into play? That right there is one of the biggest things that you can do. Changing. Linking that calmness to a win, right? And you start rewarding your discipline over the profit, right? Reward yourself for the wins. Not making money, reward yourself for the wins. Your action step, create a pre-trade ritual, whether it be 2 to 5 minutes, breathing, reviewing your trades, visualizing, and a calm execution, right? Whether it be, like I said, doing push-ups, getting your mind ready, right? Always do something. That's why actors do voice things before they do cues, before they get on set. They do athletes stretch before they play. They always have this ritual to get their body, their mind into the state on what they're finna do, right? Use it before every trading session for the next 14 days. For the next 14 days, use it before you trade. Module 5, sustaining beliefs with systems and routine. How do you sustain these things? We've learned how to implement them, but how do you sustain them? We need to ensure your new beliefs and confidence last by embedding them in your daily trading process. How do we sustain these things, right? Like, why do they fade out? I've heard somebody say that when not tended to, everything results to, is it introspection? Can't think of the right word, but basically what he was saying, or what I'm trying to say, is if you don't continue to nurture something, it will go bad. Right? Continuous action and care, taking care of something. If I don't take a shower, I will start to smell bad. If I don't clean up my house, it will start looking dirty. Nothing gets better if not tended to. So if you are not tending to your beliefs, if you are not tending to your emotions, they will get bad. And suppressing them or not thinking about them, they will get worse and worse over time, right? Turning mindset into a habit and not just a one problem fix, because it's not a one problem fix. Yes, you can watch this video all the way through and take notes, but if you are not continuously doing it time and time again and going back and seeing, because we change, we will not be dealing with the same belief problems a year from now that we do right now. More beliefs will come in, and we have to learn how to sustain the ones that are coming in time and time again, right? And creating an environment that supports success, being in an environment that supports you, that pushes you, and not drains you and brings you down to it, right? The power of repetition, daily reviews, right? Daily reviews they reframe your belief. The repetition, the more and more you do something, the more and more you are checking the box of the person you are wanting to become. The more and more times you do it, the more and more times your body becomes comfortable, and the more you can look to expand yourself beyond your horizon, right there, right? Continuous tracking of proof in your journal. If you continue to do it, that is more proof, like I said, more receipts, more cookies in your cookie jar for the person you are wanting to become in the future. Consistent emotional conditioning before trades gets you in a calm state, and it continuously puts you in a state of predictability within yourself, within your emotions, and also consistency, staying the same and attacking the market with consistency. All right. Environment design. Let's put some trading rules on your desk. I've seen people put sticky notes on your monitor when you are doing, and let them have different cues. Let them have different emotional triggers. Let's say hope or anger or resentment or FOMO, and have these on your desk, and then have either quotes or things to bring you back to equilibrium at this moment, and put things that can help you, right, around your desk. It's almost like taking a test with the answers posted. Don't you want answers to how to get back? Hey, I'm feeling fearful. What can I do? Boom, answer right there. Hey, I'm feeling hopeful. What can I do? Boom, let me look right there. Hey, I'm feeling scared. In your trading, there will be different emotional triggers that come, and overconfidence to get back to this equilibrium state, right? Remove triggers that cause impulsive decisions. Everybody knows what they might be. Whatever can put something in front of you that makes you very impulsive, whether it be some people, let's say if you vape and you want to vape right quick, and you take a bit of your vape, but sometimes in your vape it causes you to make crazy decisions afterwards. That decision right there took you from feeling logically to now thinking emotionally, because you are wanting to change your feeling. You're wanting to feel good while trading, which causes you to look at things through an emotional feeling good sense, right? So weekly reviews and adjustments. Weekly, go over the trades that you took that week. On the weekend when the markets are open, that's what you're doing. You are reviewing your winning trades And remember how we said reviewing winning trades. A winning trade is you following your system and you executing a system correctly. How many of those are you getting per week? And how many are bad trades, not just losing ones? Because you can win money in a trade, but still I would classify it as a losing trade because you broke your rules. And if you was to do the exact same input again, you could probably damage yourself and ruin your whole account, right? Adjust routines when something isn't working. If you're seeing something isn't working, let's change the routine. If you're saying that, hey, I'm praying, or hey, I'm taking cold showers in the morning, but they make me too whatever, and I don't really like the cold, so it makes me trade bad when I have just change it, switch to something else, right? Celebrate discipline, execution, not just profits. Again, celebrate your discipline. Don't just celebrate if I made money or lose money. Celebrate your discipline, how you reacted to the trade, how you reacted getting in the trade and out of the trade, right? Your trading progression is alive in these regular check-ins to make sure it is still aligned with your goals and beliefs. You need to come back. You need to have constant reinforcement with your trading progress in order for it to grow into where you're trying to get it to, right? Module 5 action step. Create a 20-minute weekly review ritual. This, like I said, this can be on the weekends when the market isn't ready, but have this to assess your mindset, the way you are, the way you thought about your whole trading week. See how your mindset's going. See where your beliefs are taking you, where they're shaping you, right? Keep a running list of wins from discipline and not just your P&L. Again, I keep saying this, the redundancy is not just your P&L, it is your discipline and how you reacted to different market sentiments. Your belief